Okay. I want to take a moment to say thank you to and introduce Quentin. Quentin is a junior at Lafayette County High School in Higginsville, Missouri, class of 2021. And he found me online and was so moved by the videos he saw on my website. He's the young man who chose me to speak at the Missouri Association of Student Councils district meetings in Higginsville on October 25th this year, 2019. There were about 1,100 students in attendance, student leaders from 31 schools in Missouri. Today, Quentin has been gracious enough to allow me to interview him about his experience working with me and hearing me as a motivational speaker and what he gained from basic instructions. So, Quentin, first off, congratulations on the successful event. And I have to tell you, the energy of the group was electric. So congrats on that. And thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, and thanks. We worked really hard on that. We worked really hard to get everything right.
Okay, and it definitely was right. I got to tell you that from an outsider's perspective. So, what would you say? You're the young man who found me and hired me to speak at the district meeting. So, thank you for that. What is it that you found online that inspired you to choose me at the district meetings to speak?
Well, I mean, as we were looking at speakers, we were watching their videos, and when we came across yours, we saw that you came from a sports background. We know like a lot of people come from sports backgrounds, respect higher athletics. So we saw, and I saw how, and I'm like a sports person, so I know how sports connects to real life. And I saw that in your presentation, you really explain on how sports can imitate your life, and putting what you want into it makes what you get out of it. And you really inspired me to see that, and really inspired like me to pick you because you really got your message across, and really got your message across, and clearly. It was amazing.
Very well. Yeah, I appreciate that. So, you were there in attendance for the presentation on the 25th. So what are some points that you gained from the presentation on basic instructions?
Some points that I saw was that, like, you had your opportunity, and just because when you mentioned how you got one scholarship off from Purdue, how you mentioned that even though you wrote to all the other schools, you got one back, and that was all you needed. With some people, it's just, oh, well, they only got one. That means nobody else was interested. No, but you took that one into a positive and really showed your growth, and chose that one offer to prove people wrong instead of to like let it sit inside you and let it be down on you.
Yeah, and the big thing there is understanding that whatever happens, whatever happened only means what you say it means. So it's very easy for me to say, oh, nobody else wanted me, and focus on what I don't have. Or I could turn my focus and put it on the fact that I got actually exactly what I was looking for. And so when you start telling yourself that story, all of a sudden, everything seems to be going your way. Where if I focus on the people who didn't want me, then you get that feeling like you're not getting closer to your goal. So I'm really glad that you were able to take that point away. So when you think about other students that were in attendance, what type of feedback did you get from other people?
I got a lot of good feedback from all students. They were really inspired in how you just talked and how you really got your point across. And they were amazed on how you could just work with the students. Like you pointed out like multiple students, like you looked at multiple students, and just they were amazed on how you started in such a small area. Well, not a small area, but had you're not big for your size, as you said, and you really took that and didn't let it break you down. They were really inspired in how hardworking you were, and how just generally humble you were.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I want to make sure that everybody understands that whatever you think is the reason you can't, the only reason that something like being the shortest offensive lineman in the Big Ten, shortest in the NFL for 8 years, the only reason that being short is going to stop me is because I believe that it's going to stop me. The only thing that's going to stop you is what you believe. And so if you believe that you're not good enough or not smart enough or, not pretty enough or not tough enough, that belief is going to make it true. That makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
belief
exactly.
that make it true. And so it's important for what I wanted you guys to get is it's important that you focus on what you do want, not what you don't want. Focus on what you have to offer, not focusing on what you don't have and why you can't do it. Because then all of a sudden, that's what ends up happening in your life. So I'm glad you were able to, you guys were able to get that. So I don't know if you were available. You were so busy being the chair of the whole thing and making sure everything was organized. I don't know if you got a chance to attend any of the breakout sessions with the Q&A. And if you did, or if you got any feedback from
I did. I was in and out on multiple of them, and I saw a couple of your questions and how you answered them.
Mhm. Okay, cool. So, did you get any feedback on that, or what did you take from the breakout sessions and the value gained from it?
What I took away from it was probably whenever, like, you gave really good answers, like, to everybody's questions. You didn't really not answer any questions. You answered questions, like, clearly and gave really good answers throughout and explained really well.
Very cool. People don't get a chance every day to talk to somebody who's had the experiences I've had. So it's important to, address as many questions as I can and paint a picture for each person there that it is possible for you to have the type of success you see the people you look up to having. So I was really enjoyed the breakout sessions too. So, the only question I have left is, would you recommend basic instructions for other students who are looking to be motivated and make a difference in their school and communities?
The only really instructions I have is to make your voice heard. Like, if you have an idea, go ahead and find your principal or whoever's in charge and make sure they know your idea. Because if you stay quiet, they may never know if your idea was good or bad or if it'll work. And if they think your idea is good, then they'll run with it and they'll help you evolve it.
Right. Yeah, especially if you have faith and you believe in that idea 100%, knowing the impact that what you have to give can have in benefiting the greater good. So, would you recommend other schools, other student council groups in high schools to, look into basic instructions? Do you think that this presentation could be of value to other people who are thinking of having me speak?
I think though a lot of school they should have very much interest in basic instruction just because they could because you explained how one thing can make a difference, and I saw that you really helped. Like, even if your decision other people may not like your decision, as long as you start with that decision and you start with the change, you can be a change in your community.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I just want to, again, give you a lot of credit for putting together such a fabulous event. The energy, all the different schools that were there, 31 different schools. It's a lot of responsibility, and you did an excellent job. And I just want to give you a lot of credit for that. And thank you for just taking time to share your experience, and hopefully other high schools and other students can gain value from your testimony and be able to determine if maybe basic instructions are what they need in order to become extraordinary and make a real impact in their communities. So thank you on this Saturday evening, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
All right, thank you.
All right.
All right, cool.
Yeah, didn't mean to get off. I don't know if you're still there.